Camps are a major part of Fallout 76. They are a feature that everyone will encounter at some point while playing the game, but for new players, this will be very intimidating because there are so many different things that you can build at your camp, and the game doesn't always fully explain what they do. So it might be hard figuring out what you need and don't need at your camp. So in this video, I will be going over every essential camp item in Fallout 76 and how to get them. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of the Fallout games and the Fallout TV show, click the link in the pinned comment below to join my Fallout Discord server, where you can find other people to play Fallout 76 with, discuss the Fallout TV show, or just talk about anything related to Fallout. Now, starting off in the list of essentials is storage. In Fallout 76, storage containers are called stash boxes, and unlike other Fallout games, stash boxes in Fallout 76 are shared between all stash boxes in the game. Meaning if you build a stash box in your base and then put items into it, you can then pull those items out of any stash box you find. This could be at player hubs like the White Spring Mall, or stash boxes at other players' camps. But there are multiple types of stash boxes. First, you'll have the basic stash boxes that you can put anything into, but they will have a weight limit of 1,200 pounds. If you don't have the Fallout First subscription, these stash boxes will be your only form of storage, and you'll spend a lot of your playtime managing this storage box. But if you have Fallout First, then you unlock other stash boxes that will have unlimited capacity. Like the scrap box, which will scrap and hold an infinite amount of any junk resource item. The ammo container will hold an infinite amount of every type of ammo. And the medic bag will hold an infinite amount of medical items. So if you don't have Fallout First, then you'll need to make sure you have at least one stash box in your camp. You can have more than one stash box if you want, but having more than one stash box will not increase your storage capacity. But if you have Fallout First, make sure you build a stash box, a scrap box, and an ammo container, and then take everything out of your stash box and then put it into the correct storage box to manage your weight and inventory. The next set of essential camp items are your crafting tables. Now by default, you'll have pretty much all of these unlocked right away, except for the chemistry workbench and the tinker's workbench. But you can buy the plans for both of these crafting stations from the responders vendor in the White Spring Mall. Now this should be pretty self-explanatory because these crafting benches will be used for your crafting, and because crafting is so important in Fallout 76, you'll need one of each of these at your camp. That includes the armor workbench, the chemistry workbench, the cooking station, power armor station, tinker's workbench, and the weapon workbench. Having all of them allows you to do any crafting that you may need. Along with this, you'll also want the punch card machine, which will let you swap out your build, special stats, and perk cards whenever you want. Next up on the list is food and water. Now you'll find a lot of food and water in Fallout 76, but it's always good to have your own supply at your camp. Water can come from a few different sources. If you built your camp near a pond, you can manually collect water from it, then boil it in a cooking station. Or you can put a water purifier in the water to provide you with purified water. Or you can build a water pump to pump water out of the ground whenever you need it. But there's other options for water, like the vintage water cooler that can be built in your camp to provide you with free purified water. But the plan for that will be bought from other players, and it can be kind of rare. Food, on the other hand, will come from plants and crops that will already be near your camp. Or you can go out and collect vegetables and fruits and then plant them at your camp to have your own infinite supply. A great place to do this is at Silva Homestead, which will be right here on your map. Here you'll find a ton of crops that you can harvest, then you can bring them back to your camp and plant them. And then whenever you need food, you can just harvest the food from those crops. The next essential thing that you'll need at your camp is electricity. This will be used to power your camp items, and it's very important that you have enough power at your camp to make sure that everything is working properly. To get electricity at your camp, you'll need to build generators. Now there will be different sizes of generators that will each provide different amounts of power, and I highly suggest building the best generator that you can to prevent having to build multiple small generators that will just take up space in your camp. The biggest and best generator that you can get is the fusion generator, and you can get the plan to craft this from the responders vendor in the White Spring Mall. These fusion generators will give your camp 100 power each, so 1 or 2 of these will be more than enough for most camps. Now that you have power at your camp, the first thing that you'll want to build is a vending machine. You will already have the plans for this, but the vending machine is a very important item that everyone should have at their camp, but most new players won't know about this at first. The vending machine can be built in your camp, and once it's built, this green symbol will be added to your camp icon on the map, which will tell other players that you have a vending machine and you're selling items. Then you can go through your stash box to list items that you have for sale, to start making some caps to buy the things that you need. You can actually make a lot of caps by doing this because people are always buying a ton of different items, like legendary weapons, plans, ammo, mods, food, and junk. So it's a very easy way to make money. Next up on the list of essentials are defenses. Now these will only be required if your camp is in a location that commonly has enemies show up at it. The main defenses that I'm talking about are turrets, which will automatically shoot at and kill enemies when they get close to your camp. This will protect your camp from taking damage and prevent you from having to go around and repair things at your camp. Of course, this isn't Rust, so other players won't be able to get into your stash box to steal your items, but turrets will make camp maintenance a lot easier. But again, you may not need defenses or turrets if you're in a peaceful location or if your base can't be reached by enemies. Next, we have camp items that provide player buffs. Now, I'll be honest when I say that these will be very limited, as most of the plans for camp items that give player buffs will come from seasonal events and gold bullion vendors. But some of them can be sold by other players, so make sure you're commonly checking the vending machines at other players' camps. At first, the 2 player buff camp items that you'll have access to are a bed and instruments. Building a bed and then sleeping in it will give you the Well Rested buff, which will increase your experience gain by 5% for 1 hour. And then building an instrument and playing the instrument will give you the Well Tuned buff, which will increase your AP regeneration by 25% for 1 hour. But there's actually a lot of different player buff camp items that you'll want to collect and build. It's just getting them can be tricky, but let's go over the best ones. So first, you can go to Mortimer in the Crater, and he will be selling the weight bench, which will increase your strength, the speed bag will increase your agility, the exercise bike will increase your endurance, the mechanical derby game will increase your intelligence, the arm wrestle machine will increase your charisma, and the radiation glove box will increase your perception. And then Samuel in Foundation will sell the fortune teller machine and the West Virginia slot machine, which will increase your luck. Buying all of these will cost you a lot of gold bullion, but as you unlock them, you can build them in your camp and then just interact with them to gain the buff from that machine. But you should know that there will be some free-ish versions of these machines that will come from the Scoreboard Season Pass. Now, while we're at the vendor Samuel, there is another must-have item that he sells, and that will be the Symptomatic machine. This can be built in your camp, then you can interact with it to cure all of your diseases. It's actually an amazing thing to have in your camp. And it also has a low chance of dropping for free from daily ops, which is how I got mine. And finally, we have resource and food generators. Now, there are a lot of these in Fallout 76, so it's going to take you a while to get all of them. But an example of this is the motorized butter churn, which comes from the Foshnot event, which will passively generate cooking oil, which can be used when cooking or scrapped for oil. This plan and some of the others can be purchased from other players, and there are a lot of different resource and food generators for sale in the Atomic Shop. You just need to find the ones that give the resources that you commonly need the most. But again, Mortimer and Samuel will sell plans for some resource and food generators. Mortimer will sell the plans for the popcorn machine, which will make popcorn that will restore your health and AP and slow your hunger and thirst. And Samuel sells the plans for the chicken coop, which generates fertilizer. But he also sells collectrons, which you can build in your camp. And then they will walk around your camp and collect different items for you. The one that I use is the Santatron, which passively generates junk that I can then scrap for random crafting resources. And again, resource and food generators will commonly appear in the Scoreboard Season track. And those are a bunch of essential camp items that you'll want for your camp. There are a lot of them, so if I missed any, comment below which one I missed and how to get it to help other players. But I hope this video helps you, and thank you for watching.